Now, where, Jane, the meeting's due to start in about half an hour?
That's right. People are just arriving here, Social Club in Kirby. And this week, Labour Party research said this area, Knowsley, is the worst affected in the country in terms of local government cuts and the impact of welfare reform. So tonight here, a number of unions, amongst them Unite, Unison, the NUT, will call for direct action, civil disobedience, a policy of can't pay, won't pay.
Billy's packing up to move. He's lived in his three-bedroom house for 15 years.
Did you want to move?
No. I like my garden. I like the fresh air. I've got good neighbours.
You just can't afford to stay now?
I can't afford to stay.
He's moving because of the under-occupancy rule. And he shows me his new place, a 13th floor flat. Nothing else is available.
It really does take a while to sink in that you've actually got to go.
You won't be able to have the grandkids staying?
No, they won't stay there. There won't be any room up there in a one-bedroom flat.
The irony is this flat will cost the government £1 more in housing benefit than Billy's old three-bedroom rent. They've been dealing with the fallout of welfare reform here.
OK.
You can have a look through them for us, please.
Yeah.
The situation's drastic, I think. I mean, there are lots of people who are being attacked, that's the only word that we can use, who can't afford to survive on the money that they will have to survive on.
So tonight, unions will hold a meeting. They'll encourage people who can't afford to pay their rent not to move like Billy, but to stay. Can't pay, won't pay. It was a slogan familiar in the 90s. Anti-poll tax feeling was fierce. But it wasn't the demos that led to its demise, it was non-payment. Eventually, the government had to write off £5 billion of arrears.
Civil disobedience, when you had tens of millions of people refusing to pay their poll tax, helped, in effect, bring down a Prime Minister. And thousands of people refusing to pay a bedroom tax won't have the same effect.
Today, Knowsley Housing Trust said if a tenant won't pay their rent, they will pursue normal rent arrears recovery. Eviction is always a last resort.
Well, joining me now is Kevin Robinson, who's from the Knowsley Trades Council. Kevin, you're calling for civil disobedience. You're asking people to break the law?
No, we're not asking people to break the law. What we're asking them is there's different ways with civil disobedience of how we can sort of stop this horrendous attack that's being inflicted on our people.
You want people to stop paying their rent?
I want people to sort of feed the families, look after themselves first and get the priorities right. And one of them priorities will be to do what I've said.
OK then, but people could be evicted because of this. Is this responsible?
Well, we're confident that people won't be evicted because if they do, then obviously we're making abundantly clear to everybody, housing associations, politicians in particular, is that we, the people of Kirby, people of Knowsley, that we will sort of put a ring of steel around them houses.
How can you stop people being evicted? How can you stop the bailiffs going in?
Well, we've done it before in Kirby. We've got a track record on doing things like that. But what we're asking people is just to pay maybe 50 pence a week or £1 a week and be sensible about it.
Very briefly, John Tong says this won't work, it won't change policy.
Well, I don't know whether John Tong's a politician, but all I'll say is that it's a political decision and we'll stop that.
All right then, well thanks for your time. The Housing Trust say 3,000 people will be affected by this. Who knows how many of them will refuse to pay their rent? Back to you.